You wake up one morning, and by nightfall, you can't breathe on your own. Not because of a broken bone, not because of a car crash, but because of something invisible. Something that crept in quietly, paralyzed your chest muscles, and sentenced you to spend the rest of your life inside a metal tube. Dallas, Texas, 1952. 6-year-old Paul is just out here being a kid, running around in the summer heat, zero concept of consequences, because he's 6. But polio was going absolutely feral across America. Parents were shutting down public pools, in Texas, in the summer. That's how terrified everyone was. Paul came home one day with a stiff neck and a fever. Any parent in 1952 hearing that was like, oh no. 3 days later, he couldn't move his legs, then his arms, and then his chest muscles stopped working, meaning he could not breathe. He was 6 years old and his body just threw up the little white flag. Good luck, buddy, I'm out. So the doctors said, we're putting him in the iron lung. What is an iron lung? Great question. Horrifying answer. Picture a giant metal tube, 7 feet long, looks like a submarine had a baby with a coffin. You get slid inside feet first, your whole body goes in. Then they seal it around your neck, just your head sticks out, like a very sad human bobblehead. Here's how it works. A motor drops the air pressure inside the tank, your chest expands, air rushes into your lungs. Pressure goes back up, chest compresses, air goes out. Rinse, repeat, forever. It's basically faking the entire process of breathing using 1920s technology and pure audacity. Invented by 2 Harvard guys, and honestly, respect. Absolute legends. But here's what they built it for. Short-term use. Weeks, maybe months. Get the patient stable, send them home. Paul never went home. Now here is where this story stops being sad and becomes absolutely unhinged, in the best way. Most kids would have quit. Look, nobody's judging. You're paralyzed from the neck down, you live in a humming metal tube, and the only way you see the world is through a tiny mirror above your head. I would have quit on day 1. But Paul wanted to read, so he learned to read from the mirror reflection, upside down, backwards, for fun. And then, because apparently surviving paralysis wasn't enough of a flex, he taught himself something called glossopharyngeal breathing, which is just a fancy term for frog breathing. He literally learned to breathe like a frog using his throat muscles. He got so good at it, he could survive outside the iron lung for hours. Then he enrolled in school, got a law degree from the University of Texas, became a practicing attorney, wrote a memoir, and when he passed away in March 2024 at 78 years old, he'd been in that iron lung for over 70 years, the longest in recorded history. 70 years. I can't commit to a gym membership for 70 days. Real quick, 2 facts that will haunt you. 1. Jonas Salk's polio vaccine arrived in 1955, 3 years after Paul was paralyzed. 3 years. If Paul was born slightly later, none of this happens. The universe has a very dark sense of humor. 2. Paul's family kept a backup generator at home because if the power went out, that iron lung stopped. A blackout wasn't an inconvenience for Paul. It was a death sentence. Look, the next time you're lying in bed, doom scrolling at 2 a.m. complaining life is hard, and we all do it, think about Paul, who woke up as a healthy 6-year-old and by nightfall was breathing through a machine, and still became a lawyer, still wrote a book, still showed up every single day.